In this lesson, we will understand what is inheritance in Python with its types and concepts. We will also see some examples. So let us start. So with Python, we can work on the code reusability concept. So in inheritance, a child class can reuse and extend the functionality of a parent class. So take it like a parent-child relationship. A child inherits the features of its parents. Similarly, inheritance allows a child class to reuse and extend the functionality of a parent class. This will make code more readable and reduce duplication. So there are different concepts of inheritance. Top two includes the parents and base class, which is the class on the top you can consider. We also have the child and derived class. So a child class is a class that inherits from the parent class. That is the base class. Here is the syntax. So here let's say we have the parent class and its own attributes and methods. Then we have the child class. This is also a syntax. So you need to add the parent class under the parenthesis of the child class, and your child will also have additional attributes and methods. This is a basic syntax. Now let us see the syntax that will explain you the concept of inheritance. We have the parent class, that is the superclass. Okay, it has its own attributes and methods. Then we have a subclass, that is a child class. In the brackets we have the superclass. So this will have the attributes and methods of not only its own subclass but also the superclass. So here we are inheriting the subclass from superclass. This is the actual inheritance concept. And here is the syntax. So if you have animal superclass and a dog subclass, so it will be class dog and animal in the parenthesis. Why use inheritance? I already told you that it helps in code reusability. Okay, you can easily add new features in the child class. With that, the hierarchy of a class is also clear. Now we know which is a parent class, which is a child class. So here are the types of inheritance. First we have the single inheritance, which we just saw. A child class inherits from one parent class. Then we have multiple inheritance, like a child class inherits from more than one parent class. Here we have multi-level, that is more than one level. For example, grandparent, then parent, then child. After that we have the hierarchical, in which multiple child classes inherit from the same parent class. So we will see these examples one by one. Let us start. So here is our PyCharm. We already created the inheritance project, and within that we have 4 examples of inheritance. First one is single inheritance, in which a child class inherits from one parent class. So here we will see single inheritance with init in parent and child. So here we are using init. This is like in Java we have constructors. So we have init in Python. And this is our parent class and this is our dog class. I have already explained you the syntax before. Okay. Then below we are calling and working on it. So let's see. Here we are also using the super concept, which is also used in inheritance. Now let's start the flow of execution to understand this code, which is quite easy. So this is the parent class definition. On the top, we have the parent class animal. Within that, we have a constructor init that initializes the attribute name with self. The method info prints the animal name here using self.name because we have assigned it here, initialized. Then we have the child class definition. In that we have the dog class that inherits from animal. In its constructor, super.init is used. This will call the parent constructor init first. Self.breed is added as an attribute specific to dog. This is child specific attribute that is only for dog. Here sound defines behavior unique to dogs, that is this is a method of the dog subclass, and details also belongs to the dog class and it will print the name and breed using self. We will explain later what is self. Okay, then we have created objects. So here we have created an instance D of class dog. Okay, the constructor of dog runs like it calls animal.init to set self.name is equal to Brad. Okay, this will call the following init, which will then call this so that it can set the self.name to Bradman, which is the following parameter. Okay. and this will set self.breed to bulldog, which is sent as an argument. d.info will call the parent class method info, that is the following, to print the animal name. Okay, this will print animal name. I'll also print this. So first our animal name will get printed, Bradman. Okay, that is the following. Then sound is called. Sound is the subclass method. It calls the child class method sound, that is the following, dog class sound, and it will print self.name comma barks, means self.name was Bradman and then barks, Bradman barks. Okay. Then after that details is called, details is here, details will print cell.name which was having Bradman and cell.breed, that is Bradman is a bulldog. These three are printed now. What this dog object is doing, this constructor will initialize both name and breed. Using this, it will add name as Bradman and breed as bulldog. Three methods are called. This is inherited from parent, this is child specific, and this is child specific. Here we also have self. Consider self as a reference to the current object of the class. It allows you to access attributes and methods that belong to that specific object. When you create an object of a class, Python automatically passes that object as the first argument to instance method. That means this. By convention we call this parameter self. We can add any name. You also must have heard about this in Java. You can add any name, but self is a standard way to add it. It's preferred that you should use self. So in our code, this internally calls dog.init underscore, and this will pass here. This will be like D here for self, name will be Bradman and bulldog will be here. Here D, the object itself is passed as self, I told you. So inside init, that is here, cell.name is equal to name means store the value of name inside this particular object's name attribute. Under this, cell.name refers to the name attribute of the object D here. So it prints Bradman bucks. So in this way we can work with single inheritance. Now let us see the next example of multiple inheritance, which I already told you. A child class inherits from more than one parent class. So here it is, father, mother and child. So child is having two parent classes, father and mother. Child is a subclass obviously. And these are the objects. We have created an object of the child class and then used that object to call the skills. So we have skills here as well, here and here as well. Okay. This is an example of multiple inheritance. First we have one parent class 1 which is father, parent class 2 as mother and subclass is child. Father has a method skills that prints gardening. Mother has a method skills that prints teaching. Child inherits from both father and mother and prints sports. So we have an overriding concept here. The child class defines its own skills. It explicitly calls the skills method of the father and then the skills method of the mother. Finally, it prints both gardening and teaching, that is the skills of both the parents. When c.skill calls, first it will go here, father.skills self will print gardening, mother.skills will print teaching, and when it will reach here it will print sports. Here it is. Okay. So in this way the flow of execution works. So in short, the child class inherits from both parents, overrides the methods, okay, and then manually calls each parent's version to combine their skills with its own. So this was multiple inheritance. The next one is multi-level inheritance, in which inheritance occurs across multiple levels, that is grandparent, parent, child. So here we have grandparent, parent and child, multi-level. Let us see the hierarchy of the class. Grandparent is the base class. Parent inherits from grandparent. child inherits from parent, and indirectly child inherits from parent and indirectly from grandparent also. So here we have created an object of child class. This will call grandparents heritage method, that is this heritage. Okay. This will call parents responsibility method, and this will call child's play method. So one by one it will first print family traditions because of this, then providing guidance, and then playing games. This is the order. So the child class inherits everything from parent, and since parent inherits from grandparent, the child object has access to all the three methods. This is called multi-level inheritance, that is grandparent, parent, and then child. The child object can use methods from its own class, its parent class, and its grandparent class. So like the child class carries forward the heritage of the grandparent, the responsibility of the parent, and add its own ability. Okay, so this is a multi-level inheritance. Now the last example, hierarchical inheritance. Multiple child classes inherit from the same parent class. Here also we have the overriding concept. To begin with, we have the animal parent class. Okay, that is having two methods, sound and info. Then we have child classes. We have three child classes, dog, cat and cow. I hope you understood by seeing the syntax also, that is the example. So we have three child classes, dog, cat and cow, with their own sound methods which are overriding. Each child inherits info from animal, that is this from animal, from the parent class. Each child overrides sound to give its own implementation. Now let us create an object. Here it is. Dog, cat and cow objects are created here. Now let us see the method calls. All child classes inherit from the same parent animal but override the sound method. So when d.sound will be called, what will happen? It will print bark. Okay, so now first run it. When the sound of the dog will be called, this will print bark. Then the sound of cat is called, it will print meow. Then the sound of cow is called, it will print moo. So the output was bark, meow and moo. After that, it will go for the info method for all the three objects, dog, cat and cow. So this will directly go to the animal class, that is the parent class, and it will print animal class thrice because we have printed it three times. It's thrice. Okay. Polymorphism can be seen here. Even though all objects are of type animal, their sound behaves differently depending on the child class. Okay. The info method is reused across all child classes without redefining it. So this is inheritance, reuse, and this is polymorphism. Hierarchical inheritance allows multiple subclasses to share a common base class. Method overriding lets each subclass customize behavior. Okay. So in this way we understood the hierarchical inheritance. So guys, we saw what is inheritance, its usage, what are the different types of inheritance. We saw all the examples. Thank you for watching.